Good morning from the Chapel of the Ascension, which is a shrine located at Mount of Olives, at the top of Mount of Olives in Jerusalem. It's first of a Christian church and a monastery, and now it's an Islamic mosque. We will talk about it soon. It's located at the site that traditionally we believe that was the earthy spot where Jesus ascended into heaven after his resurrection. But he promised us to come back from the same spot. Then here it is. And I'm dedicating it to Carla, that bought a book through me, Constance, with the Lord's Prayer and olive wood cover, and I'm blessing it as I'm taking that video that you have been blessed to see too. I mean, you are I'm so happy that I'm blessed that you are watching that video with me. And if you want to know something about it, then we will talk about it at the end of the video. It's not important now. Then in the structure here, in the chapel here, there's a slab of stones believed to contain one of his footprints. I must say something about it. We have so many traditions, and one of my videos, I got so many comments that laughing at that idea. I do have a question. Can you prove that it wasn't his footprint? Then if you're not believing in the Bible, that's okay. You can say whatever you want. But if you are a believer, then don't try to make it, don't try to show it as a joke, because it's not, at least for me and for so many others believers. The status quo of 200 years, understanding between religious communities applies to that side. That's why you can see here Armenian altar, you can see a Coptic altar, Greek Orthodox altar, Catholic altar, and almost of the Christians accepting it as the Ascension Church. Although I must say that if you visit with me the first at Paternoster Church, Helena, that at the beginning they actually thought that it might be there, but then they split that, split it in two stories. Here it's the Ascension because it's the highest place of the city, and the other one is about Jesus and the disciples that have been there together. And if I'm talking about that, by the time of the pilgrims, Algerius travels to Jerusalem, a woman, in 384, the spot of it had been moved to here, to the present location. Then in that case, we know that it happened at the 4th century, and later on, at 392, people already used it as the Ascension spot, and that was built by another woman, Pominia. She was an imperial family. She came from the imperial family. She had the money. She could do that. And this is so beautiful to see that at the beginning of Christianity, a lot of women used to build churches here in Jerusalem. Then at the spot that you can actually see here, the 4th century, there was kind of a chapel. They call it the stage in Beaumont, chapel on the hill, which was right here in front of you. It was a rotunda, open to the sky, surrounded with circular porticos and arches. You can see a little bit from the Byzantine time, some of the remainders, like here and there then in that case we do have some evidence from the 4th century church. Their church was destroyed 614 by the Persian, by Crusader II. But at the 7th century we already know about churches. The Frankish bishop and the pilgrims Alkuf, that thanks to him we know a lot about Jerusalem at the 7th century, is already relating his pilgrimage to Jerusalem and describe this church as a round building open to the sky with 3 porticos. Enter from the entrance of the south. South, it's that way. That is the south. It describes 8 lamps that through here you could see 24 hours a day the ascension spot from Jerusalem, which is the old city, is at that side, which is amazing. The idea that he will come every moment was so important, and here it is in front of you. He might come now. It's Easter time. We are really waiting for that, isn't it? He is also mentioned the footprint of Christ. Then there, 12th century church, and we're going to enter later on into their chapel, and we will actually see it by ourselves. At the 12th century, the Crusaders built here a beautiful church. That church has been destroyed, but what actually left from that church are the columns here. And every column made of marble, and everyone is from a different marble. Let me show it to you. Every capital is different. It's not the same capitals. That was open. The dome wasn't here. The dome was built later on by the Muslims, and they closed that portico. And you can see even more of it. And every column, every capital is different. This is the Greek Orthodox altar, ceramic altar. Everyone are using it. Look at the blue sky. How beautiful it is. Yes, I feel myself as a lucky guy that lives in the Holy Land. I actually, the COVID did something good for me. I know that not for all of you, but the COVID gave me time to understand what I love and what I should do. And by praying for you, having a kind of a virtual tools, together with together with buying your crosses for the one who cannot reach Israel, it makes me happy because I know how important it to so many of you. That's why the idea is to have the best quality items and not something in 20 shekels that will break in less than two days. And I'm asking myself, what should I do? Should I go back to be a tour guide, or should I continue with it, making tools for you and open you to the Bible in a 3D way? Then if you know the answer, please answer me, because I'm asking myself, should I continue or not? For example, I'm supposed to have a group at Easter time, and I decided this time not to do that, mainly because I want to be with you while I'm taking a video of so many events like the Good Friday, Saturday, you know what I mean? Then it's a very huge dilemma that I'm actually sharing with you, because you are my family. Then after the fall of Jerusalem in 1187 by Saladin, The ruined church and the monastery were abandoned by the Christians, who actually left to Acre. During the time of Saladin, he established here a waqf place. Waqf, it means that it's kind of Islamic trust. Now it belongs to the Muslims only. But one thing that he did, and I really loved, he knew that that place is mostly visited by the Christians and not by the Muslims. Then he decided to open it to everyone. And in a way, it's beautiful, isn't it? But when we'll go in to the chapel, you will see that there is a mihrab there as well. The mihrab will tell you where is Mecca, and the Muslims are praying to Mecca, but later on they divided it into two. You can see the roof right there of the mosque with the minaret, and that place is mostly for Christian believers. You saw the chapels here as well. Then it's a good sign, isn't it, to accept everyone. We're already in the chapel. This is the mihrab place where the Muslims used to pray. And the footprint of Jesus is in front of you.